Hey everybody! In this month's gel press video, I'm actually going to do a series using this background that I'm going to create today. And then in the next two videos, I'm going to use those little pieces of this background as collage elements while I create different gel press backgrounds. So it's just going to sort of stretch what I'm doing today. Now I have 3 green paints. I have my 5x7 gel press. I have this fun grungy brick stencil. And I'm going to create several green layered pull backgrounds. And when you're doing a brick background, what you want to think about is the portions of the stencil that are masking and the portions of the stencil that are functioning as a stencil. So that means which part is open and which part is masked. In this case, it's the grout between the bricks that is masked. And so you're going to make your color choices according to what you want to see in the finished product. And masking versus lifting on the stencil is going to give you different results with different colors. So I'm starting with the darkest green color that I have today. It's actually an umber. It's a beautiful umber from Dina Wakley. And I'm putting that down, and I'm also blotting some of the brick texture with a piece of rice paper. So now when I pull it up, you can see what's left on the plate, sort of, because I have a dirty plate, but I left this plate dirty. This is actually from another print that's going to be in this series for a reason, because I felt like that pattern that's on there looked like spray paint. It made it look like there was graffiti on this brick wall. So I actually had filmed these together. And I noticed that that was on there and was going to work perfectly with the brick portion of my 3 video series. So you will see those coming up. So now I'm using the medium green as my lift layer. And I will put that down, thin a layer. You always want your lift layer to be pretty thin and really rub that well to lift that off the plate. And we'll see where the different colors landed in this particular stenciled brick. So when I pull that up, you can see the grout lines are a little bit lighter because that mask lifted those off, and then there are some darker bricks. You can see where it pulled that loopy texture. It's a secret until the next video, and made that into a graffiti feeling look in the background of this very grungy wall. I think it's so much fun. And this is such a rich and beautiful color. I think it's really pretty with landscapes. I've done wood grain texture with this color. I've done these brick. It's just a beautiful mixing color. So I like it a lot. Now this time I'm using deli paper instead of tissue paper. Just see if that gives me a different look and feel to this same process. Now there I have a little piece that I can use in an art journal with lots of fun brick on it. And when I pull that up, you can see the little parts that are dark that are left on the plate. And because I got so much more lifting, you're not going to see as much dark brick as you saw on the other one. So I'll go ahead and dry this with my hand dryer and see how the bricks were darker on that one. You're not going to see that on this one. It's going to look a little bit different with the exception of a few at the edges. So now I will put my lightest green, not the medium green that I used before. This is kind of a springy, sort of minty green as my lift layer. Again, too much paint. Always too much paint. When am I going to learn? One of these days. Hopefully I'm teaching you guys not to use too much paint just by watching me use too much paint. So now I'm actually going to layer this up. I'm putting the stencil down again, and I'm lifting with the tissue paper using my little Baron to get that really pressed in there. The tissue paper isn't as sort of grabby as the deli paper is. As you can see, it doesn't lift quite as much paint. So you get kind of a different look, and you're going to have more of the actual bricks left on the plate. So I'll pull that up, and now you can see both of those layers are kind of working together. This is going to be extra grungy and super fun. So I will hand dry that, and now I'm actually going to put a third layer of paint for the lift layer, and that is the medium green. So we will actually have all 3 greens in this print, and this is really fun. This is kind of what I was working towards. So we will pull this little guy up, see what we get. These are so much fun just to work in a single color. If you have multiples of a single color family, this is so much fun. So now you can see what I mean about adding that second layer of stenciling. It offsets just a little bit, so you're actually seeing both layers of those stencil kind of off from each other a little bit. You're still pulling a little bit of that graffiti up through those layers, and it just really looks like a fun alley, maybe in Dublin. Maybe that's why it's green. It's in Dublin. So anyway, that is really fun. So think about using your stencils twice in a single print instead of just one, and look how different it looks. These two really could not be more different. I love the layered look of both of the stencils. I think it gives it even more texture, more grunge, a little less perfection, which you know I love. So now I wanted to try one with my classic lift layer, which is always a white layer, and just see how different that looks from the 2-color and 3-color lifts that I got before. So I'll start again with the Umber. I think that's a great base layer for this composition in particular. And I'm going to use the deli paper to remove more of the brick texture on this one. And the reason for that is I want the white to be able to show through. So I am choosing the medium that lets me get more of that paint off the plate. So there you go. I'll pull that up. Nice grungy umber there. Now you can see most of that background texture that was left from the loopy print is gone at this point, but you can see I do still have some grungy little bits of paint that I'm really hoping pull up with my lift layer, because those are going to give a lot of interest to that wall. I'll dry that with my hand dryer again. And then we will add my lighter green. This is the lightest green, sorry. This is a very springy light green. And I'll just, for the heck of it, add a little bit of the medium green. I haven't done a mixed one yet for the second layer, so we'll see how that goes. Getting the print off, getting the paint off my brayer. That creates beautiful solids that I like to use in collage. I use my brayer sheets in collage more than almost anything else. So once again, we're going to do the double stencil trick where I'm going to lift through a stencil again for this second layer, and you can see the openings from the first layer where it pulled up, and that's where my white paint will show through and hopefully give us a really different look from the first two. I am running out of white paint. I keep saying I'm going to buy more white paint and I haven't done it yet. So note to self, when you're editing this video, please buy yourself some more white paint. Thanks. So I will get the extra paint off. I really hope all my little grungy bits come up with this. The key to that is, again, a very thin layer to lift with. That's going to give you the maximum pull of layers that are already deposited onto your plate. A little help from my Baron, and I'll pull it. Oh my gosh, I love that white. Look at that. Now, I didn't get all my grungies up, but look at that. You can still see a faint bit of the loop. You can see the white showing through, and you have the grungy part of the double stenciling technique that makes it even rougher and more grungy. rougher and more grungy. So here they are together. You can see how different it is and how simple. You're using the same colors of paint 3 different ways, and you get 3 totally different looks. So here's the way we're going to use one of them, and in my next 2 videos, I'll show you how to take other prints from this session and use them as collage elements. Head over to my blog for more information, and thanks so much for watching.